Welcome to another Content Capitalist podcast recap. Now, this is a condensed version of a 1-hour conversation I had with my client. Her name is Naima B. Robert, and she came to me because she is absolutely genius at communicating what she does and helping women all over the world, especially in the Muslim community, to publish books and become well known as leaders in their communities and in their niche. Now, here's the thing. When she came to me, she knew all the bits and pieces on how to do everything, but she just needed some more muscle behind creating the content that is going to take her to the next level for the launch that she did. So we're going to talk in here about the launch we did together, about the work she does with women, and a whole lot more, and you will love it. I guarantee it. I'll see you inside.
The Content Capitalist Podcast. Can you give an example for you? What was the unique point you put out? I know you help a lot of people publish their books. A couple examples of people who found their uniqueness and what was that uniqueness and find something relatable for them.
In my case, when I came onto the scene, there really was very little, what we call now diverse fiction or diverse literature around. And I had a keen interest in telling stories from the Muslim community, from the Muslim perspective. In the course of writing for children, I ended up doing a lot of multicultural books where the book would explore different cultures. So for example, one of my books is Welcome to the World, Baby. And in that book, there's a really lovely story that explores, or that allows the children in the story to explore all the different ways that children are welcomed in different cultures, right? Obviously, not all of those cultures are my cultures, but I was able to, maybe because of my kind of third culture, positioning, I was able to, to connect with these other cultures, do the research, and then, write these stories. Similarly, with my young adult novels, most of my protagonists are Muslim, but from different backgrounds. So I have Asians, Somali, Jamaican. One is set in South London, it's set in the Black British community. For me, my perspective is uniquely fluid when it comes to culture. And I find it very easy to connect with and articulate different cultures that are not my own. That's my unique
Is that what
spin.
you mean by third culture? You mentioned that term third culture before, and I've been labeled a third culture kid too. What does that mean to you?
I think the third culture kid thing is about, your parents had one culture, the society that you live in has a different culture, and then you're kind of not quite sandwiched in the middle, but you are, because you've taken from your parents, you've taken from the society, but you are neither fully. So I think that's what they mean by third culture.
I think you nailed it there. That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
I sound kind of American / Canadian.
Yes.
I look Japanese, and I don't know how I act. That just depends on who's judging. So in your case, all those different sources, your parents, the places you lived, the people who you engaged with, that combination of all those cultures is what you call your own third culture. Is that right?
It gives me my own unique spin, just like because you've traveled, because I know that you've lived in lots of different places, you will have something similar. You won't have what I have, just like I won't have what you have, but you will have a different perspective from somebody who was born and bred in Japan, for example, right? They are not going to have access to the same things that you have access to. And maybe you may not even have access to the same things they have access to, right? I guess what I'm saying is that, for everybody who wants to tell a story, you are a result of your history, your lived experience, your cultural background, the places you've lived, the things that you've seen and been through. You are a unique product as a result of that. So if you are able to tap into what makes you unique and express that in whatever way, whether it's the stories you choose to tell, whether it's the perspective you choose to use when you're telling those stories, whether it's the audience that you choose to target, it just gives you this superpower almost. Because nobody can beat you at your own game.
I love that. You create the rules for your own game. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
When we started working together, I had given her this big shopping list of stuff to do, like cameras to buy and everything, in order for her to shoot the really high quality videos that we can edit and that she can use in her marketing. Here's the thing. She didn't tell me this until here, but her camera actually smashed on the day that she was going to shoot everything. And she had to figure out a way around that. And in this next part, we're going to talk about that and how the rest of the launch went.
What are you shooting your videos on? What fancy camera do you have? Your phone.
My phone, yes.
And that's turning into 100K launches, right? And here's the thing. so many people are going to say, and probably the same with book authors, like, I'll start when I have everything ready, a $10,000 camera, And for you, it's going to be, my degree and my experience and, all this practice. Just get started with your phone, start with what the heck you have, because, the value is you, not the equipment, right?
Yeah.
She shoots with her phone. She sends us the stuff. And you said you do it in batches. So how many in a row are you doing and how often?
Usually eight. Yeah.
Is that
8 to 12. 8 to 12 is a series. 8 to 12 is a series for me. So we did a series before, which was, I can't even remember now what I was talking about in that series. But that was a series. And then we've got this coaching series. And then there's the children's book series that's coming up that is going to funnel into our children's book challenge in September. I just want to say to the viewers and the listeners, actually, because when we had our conversation, I asked you about upgrading and I bought a camera. I bought a new camera. I bought a lens. I got the lights. I've had the whole studio set up, and I wanted the 5-day challenge to be top notch. We talked about this, remember? I wanted it to be like, wow, never seen anything like this before. And you know what, guys? My daughter broke the lens of my camera. I did not know that. The brand new lens of the camera. And I'll tell you this. And this is what I love about the entrepreneurial life. I had come to the UK because my son was doing his exams. So we're staying in this rented apartment, which really did not have great kind of recording space. All of the angles were weird. Like almost anywhere I tried to film, it just wasn't what I wanted, right? I wasn't at home. I was on the go. And I was so fixated initially about making it this top quality production and, the lighting and the sound quality and everything. Listen, in the end, I used Zoom. I used my video cam on my laptop. I used this old thing. Okay. I didn't even have like my professional mic or anything like that. Nobody cared because what they wanted was the teaching. What they wanted was the energy. What they wanted was the vibe. So many of us, we're fixated on the look of things. I want it to look a particular way. I want the appearance of this or that or that. But at the end of the day, if that's what's stopping you from sharing your message with the world, you're focusing on the wrong thing. People don't care. They don't care how slickly produced your thing is. Do you know what I need? Can you give me what I need? That's it.
When you get around people who are achieving at a high level, especially hitting the kind of goals that you want to hit or that you want to emulate, then the best thing you could usually ask is, what are the lessons you learned? What did you learn? And that's what I ask her here. And the answers to her questions are just as good today as they will be 10 years from now, or they were 10 years later. And you're going to want to get a little pen and notepad out and write these down.
If there was 2 lessons you learned about content creation, what would that be? Can you share big picture?
Don't be afraid to serve. And don't be afraid to serve as yourself. A lot of people feel like if they serve, in whatever capacity, whether it's video, whether it's sales calls, whatever the case may be, they feel like they're giving something away that they won't be able to get back. But that building of trust that happens when you serve people from a place of love and they feel a genuineness from you. I don't think you can put a money value on that authenticity and the genuineness because people feel that. I remember when we had this 5-day challenge, this is one of the comments that kept coming back again and again. We can feel that you're genuine, that you really care, that you're passionate about this, that you really want to help us, that what you're saying is not just sales talk. It's not just buzzwords. This is something deeper. So I think not being afraid to serve, because whatever it is that you have abundant reserves of it, right? And not being afraid to serve as yourself. So if you're an introvert, serve as an introvert. If you're an extrovert, serve as an extrovert. If you have a particular audience that you absolutely love, that you want to be a hero to, serve that audience and don't be afraid of, kind of putting other people off or anything like that. Be yourself, because that is the uniqueness that you bring to the table that nobody else can take away from you. Nobody can beat you at your own game. Said this already.
Love it. Thank you so much for that, guys. Make sure you check out her videos on Instagram, connect with her on whatever platform works for you.
Hey, thank you so much for staying till the end of this video. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, right here, there is a little screen where you can watch the full 1 hour conversation I had with her, where we go into a lot more fun, juicy details. In the description below, there's links to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. Click it, subscribe, and listen while you're driving, working out, cooking dinner, or whatever else it is that you're doing when you listen to your podcast. That's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.